Have you ever felt like you were talking to a wall when trying to address an issue with your boss? Especially when that boss has narcissistic traits. It's a uniquely frustrating experience. You try to be professional, you try to be direct, but nothing seems to get through. Today, I want to share a journey, my journey of learning how to escalate issues politely and effectively, even when faced with a boss who seemed impossible to reason with. It all started a few years ago. I was passionate about my job, but my manager's behavior was becoming a huge roadblock. Anytime I brought up a concern, whether it was about workload, a project's direction, or a team conflict, the conversation would somehow twist back to being my fault. I was told I was being too sensitive, that I wasn't seeing the bigger picture, or that I was the only one with the problem. It was classic gaslighting. I'd leave those meetings feeling confused, demotivated, and questioning my own judgment. For months, I just tried to cope. I'd over-prepare for meetings, practice my talking points, and try different communication tactics. But the outcome was always the same: dismissal and deflection. The breaking point came during a major project. My boss had given me conflicting instructions, and when the inevitable problems arose, I was publicly blamed in a team meeting. When I realized that trying to solve the problem directly with my boss was a dead end. The pattern was clear. They would never take responsibility. I knew if I didn't do something different, my career and my mental health would suffer. But the thought of escalating was terrifying. What if I was seen as a troublemaker? What if it made things even worse? This is where the idea of polite escalation came in. It wasn't about staging a dramatic confrontation or sending an angry email to HR. It was about creating a calm, documented, and professional pathway to seek a resolution from a higher authority. The first step was a mental shift. I had to stop seeing it as tattling on my boss and start seeing it as advocating for myself and the project's success. It was a business issue, not a personal vendetta. So I started documenting everything. Not in a sneaky way, but professionally. After every confusing conversation, I'd send a follow-up email. Something simple like, "Hi boss, just to confirm our discussion. My understanding is that we are proceeding with Plan A and deprioritizing Plan B. Please let me know if I've misunderstood anything." This created a paper trail. It wasn't accusatory. It was just for clarity. These emails became my evidence, not of my boss's faults, but of the facts of the situation and my attempts to align. The next step was choosing the right issue to escalate. You can't escalate every little annoyance. It had to be something significant, with a clear impact on business outcomes. For me, it was a critical project deadline that was at risk because of the conflicting directives. I had my documentation showing the contradictory instructions and my attempts to get clarification. Then, I prepared my case. I focused entirely on facts and business impact, removing all emotion and personal complaints. My script wasn't "my boss is a narcissist and is making my life difficult." It was, "I am concerned about our ability to meet the Q3 deadline for Project X. We've had some shifting priorities, and I need clear direction to ensure the team is aligned and we can deliver on time. Here are the specific points of confusion and my attempts to resolve them. See the difference? It's professional, solution-oriented, and positions you as a responsible employee. I requested a meeting with my boss's manager. I kept the meeting request brief and professional. I'd like to discuss the timeline and resource allocation for Project X to ensure its success. In the meeting, I presented my case calmly. I walked them through the timeline, the conflicting directives using my email documentation, and the potential risks to the project. I never once used labels like unfair or unreasonable. I simply laid out the facts and asked for guidance. The result was better than I could have imagined. The senior manager saw the clear business risk. They didn't chastise my boss in front of me, but they did intervene. A follow-up meeting was scheduled with all three of us, where the senior manager helped facilitate a clear path forward, establishing a single point of truth for project direction. The dynamic shifted. My boss knew that I was willing to professionally advocate for myself and the work, and that their behavior was now visible to others. This experience taught me that polite escalation is a powerful tool. It's not about fighting. It's about navigating. It's about documenting facts, focusing on business impact, removing emotion, and seeking a solution from a higher level when you've exhausted all other options. It empowers you to protect your work and your well-being, even in the most challenging environments. It turns a helpless situation into a strategic one, and that can make all the difference.